Okay, so let's start.
Yes.
So I'm Carmen.
Roberto.
Thank you very much, Roberto. Sharon. Thank you very much for your time.
No
I'm
problem.
coming on behalf of GoetiaMedia,
Yes.
and I will be asking you some questions about your new album.
Okay.
So thank you very much for doing this speech for us.
Yes.
And let's start with the interview.
Okay.
Okay, so first, let me give our readers some context about your band, which is one of the most successful symphonic metal bands in the music history. And with a career that expands over 26 years, and with 8 studio albums under your belt, today we are here with you in order to talk about your last album, Bleed Out. Okay, so when I was preparing this interview, I was thinking about your career. Like 26 years is sounds like ominous. Sounds like wow, it's a lot of time. It's a lifetime, and
We're only 29, so it's a long time.
and I grew up with you, with your music, and yeah, I just wanted to, before talking about the album, I just wanted to talk about your career and what has been your how to say, what can you tell us about the evolution of the band on these 26 years? How you see yourself, like looking back, and what have been your main milestones or something that you say it's key in the history of the band?
Ooh, it's. I think it's been a history of amazement ourselves. You know, that we think like, whoa, okay, is this happening? Wow. I mean, yeah, we started just as a band for fun. And, hobby band, and then suddenly we could do like a real record. You know, that was very special. And then I can remember that we played our first festival, which was a huge crowd, like our 4th show. And
Yeah.
we were like, whoa.
Didn't even know how the floor monitors were working, but we did have a show with 10,000 people in front of us.
And we had this little bus, really little bus.
Yellow
and
bus.
we were parked between these huge
Yeah.
nightliners, and then
Yeah.
many years later we had ourselves like 4 of these, you know, these big nightliners and going to big places. Incredible what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's been an adventure.
Magical adventure.
Yeah.
Yes, and very grateful that we are able to do this because, well, we're from the Netherlands, and Netherlands also have a very big history of not a lot of bands coming out of the Netherlands, breaking out of the Netherlands, and because we're such a niche kind of music, metal is a kind of niche, of course. Then it's more difficult, and to be able to do this nowadays still, very happy.
That we still, like every record, we still love to make music and to discover new sounds, new things to write about, and so that makes it, this whole 20-something, almost 30 years, still very special.
And also I think because we change with every album quite a bit, it feels to me like we've been writing a book about different subjects every time with a different kind of flavor, and developing ourselves in a certain way. Yeah.
And you're not even breaking the borders, like the Netherlands border, and you are going outside, but also I think that you are a band that you are always in state of the art, like always trying to give your audience something new, something different, always trying your best to do something new that it's not included in the previous record. And
we try to, yes.
I've seen that, and I was very amazed when you just prepared the Aftermath, that show, virtual show.
Reality show,
and
yes.
that was, I was in my home. Yeah, I remember that. It's like nice show. I was at home, not going to anywhere, and I was enjoying an amazing show. Okay,
Great,
so now
Thank you.
let's talk about the journey to release this. What today we know as Bleed Out. I've read that you are just stepping away from your label, and you are now introducing a new way to release singles, because you don't want to follow the beaten path of record and then going on tour and then writing again and then going into the same cycle. why did you take the decision today, and the way you have released the singles, was something that was planned or has been done just going like that in an organic way?
Yeah, I think it started when we were with our last record company, which was going pretty good, but we wanted to release another single, and they said, no, that's difficult, and we have to do first another album, and or you have to do it with an album, and so it was difficult. And then it's like, okay, well, if it's difficult, then why not do it how we wanted to do and do it ourselves?
Okay.
So that was the decision then, and that's something we still like until today, that we can do what we want. We're really free. And if we want to release like a new album like in half a year, then we do it. And if we want to release a
Not
single,
saying that we're going to do another.
no, but if we want to release a single or whatever, we can do what we want, and that makes that keeps it exciting for yourself when you write something. And that's what we did this record. We wanted to release it, and in COVID, we wanted to give fans some songs,
exactly.
and that's what we did.
And we would not have been able to do that if we were still with a record company. The record company always wants you to do 2 or 3 maximum singles before an album comes out. Well, the album wasn't finished at that point, so we were probably not even allowed to do any release. So now we've released a lot of songs, maybe too much, but because of COVID was a long period of time, we didn't know it was going to take that long to finish.
Nobody knew that.
No, and that's why we kept on releasing singles. That's why the reason there's so many out there already before the album comes out. But it had its pluses as well. The fact that people could enjoy it all this time already, and for us to be busy with it was nice.
And it's a special album, I think, because of it's really like full of like singles. It feels different.
Yeah.
And the first single was released in May, the 8th of May of 2020. Entertain You, if my data it's okay. Then it came The Pork, then Shed My Skin, Don't Pray for Me, and then we have Wireless, Bleed Out, Ritual, and Bleed Out, the album. So it took like a long journey until we had what we find today, Bleed Out. Okay, so I have to go back for my memories, because I've been like tasting this album in the pandemic at home, and I remember the aftermath that you used the collaboration with Annie's Okay.
Yes.
And that the single number 3, Shed My Skin, with Christoph and Rudy. And I would like to know a little bit more about that collaboration, because as far as I know, it's the only one in the album.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and what was the spark that just make that the collaboration happen?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Well, we discovered the band during COVID, actually a little bit before COVID already, and really enjoyed the band as it with its energy, but also the vocals, the way the song structure was. It was like, wow, this is a really cool band. And we had some other bands as well that we really liked from the metalcore scene that inspired us actually to write this album, more or less. And we thought, like, but this band is really special because well, for me, the melody lines were very important as well, and I just enjoyed it very much. So we felt like maybe, as we've written this song, Shed My Skin, by ourselves, which has metalcore influences. It is nice to have a metalcore band as well, working with us on this song as well. So that would be, and they were our first pick.
The next question is about the AI. I have seen that you have introduced in this new album, in some official video, AI, for example, Breathe Out and also Ritual, if I'm right.
Yes, totally.
They both were created with AI technology. I would like to know how it's to work with that type of new technology. And also, the second question related with AI is that if you are considering embracing AI to create new musical elements to use in the future discourse.
Yeah, well, we were also very curious about AI, so that's why we made the videos, and it's for us also still a lot to learn how it works. So that's been fun, but you also see that there are certain limitations, and it's still very new, and it's in development. So I'm pretty sure that in the future we'll also work with AI in videos, but not sure exactly how, but it will develop. And I think for as music, I don't know yet actually. We haven't used it yet. I mean, I know people use it in Photoshop, for example. It's been used a lot.
I use it
Yeah,
for concert
Oh, yeah?
photography.
it's
Yeah.
great,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in music, I haven't still. I've seen people making videos of Sharon, like singing a Linkin Park song. Like a Sharon kind of voice. But it was not that good. I think. So I think there still needs to be a lot of development. And but if there's cool stuff, for sure we will try it. So I think next record probably there will be some AI.
We will see.
We don't know, but we'll see. But the thing is, I like the fact that we could try something new, because that's development as well. There's also a lot of controversy about it, of course. We had a lot of backlash also on the internet about the videos that we did so far, which is in a way it's logical that people react like that in the beginning, because everything new thing in the world people are afraid of course, and especially when there's no laws, in this case neither. It's people feel unprotected, which is in a way logical that they respond this way. Unfortunately, with technology, there's always technology comes first, then the lawmaking. So hopefully there will be laws also telling us what the boundaries are, what we can use it for, of course, in the future. And at this moment, I really see AI as a new industrial revolution, which is like back in the day when people were replaced by machines, of course, in factories. We had to adapt, and I think the genie's out of the bottle. You can't put it back in. Everybody knows about it. Unfortunately, like I said, technology goes before the law, and hopefully they will catch up soon and give a good law, and everybody knows what we can or not use it for.
Well,
And I think there will be a lot of great new stuff coming because of AI. Because in the past, like Elvis Presley, his first record was like one microphone, and that's it. And now we can do a lot more in the studio, and we can have a studio in our own laptop. We can do everything. So I think it's going to be a lot of more developments coming.
Talking about this new stuff that you can find in the new following albums, and what about this one? What are the key elements that make it different compared with the previous album, like music style, or what have you introduced in this new album that is like, this is different, this is marking the difference?
Well, I think the sound has been changed quite a bit. It's a little bit less symphonic, a little bit more. It's still very epic, big, and cinematic, but in a different way than we did it in the past. Maybe not the orchestra as you know it, but with a lot of drone-ish sounds, which make it feel dark and but adventurous at the same time. So it's a different sound for a big part of the album. There's one song that is more the traditional way of sounding how we did in the past, and that's When It's Worth Dying For. And the rest is quite new, I think.
Yeah, there's much more dynamics going on.
But in the song
heaviness
itself,
it's much heavier and darker, and a bit of this what is it?
8-string guitars.
Yeah, 8-string guitars. So it's much lower in tuning.
Which gives me more freedom to sing different than I normally do, because normally I was restricted to a certain kind of frequency. And nowadays I can go way more up than I used to, and in a nice way, instead of discover a new range as well.
I feel this even more heavier, more
deep. We love it. We
and
love
that's because of it's so much more low tuning.
I don't know about music. I mean, not technical in that sense, but I know what I feel. I know what I hear, and I feel like
more intensity.
And we call because it's a combination also with synthesizers and everything. We call it's hybrid. It's like the real the real playing together with the electronic stuff is making it really dark.
And now that we have been talking about the music, now let's go a little bit of of the message that you would like to share with your new album. What have been what is the main message that you would like to spread with this album, or main messages, because I know each song is about
I've got different
war and women empowerment and everything. And what have been your main source of inspiration just to get the ideas to just grasp it in the album?
Well, I think if there's one theme that really is coming back on almost every song, it's freedom, the cry for freedom, from different perspectives and different subjects. So it's about Iran, the ladies in Iran, fighting for more freedom within their religion, and a whole generation actually, not just women but also men, of course, eventually. And it's about women's right to choose over their own body in general. Like for abortion, for instance, where I had to write an essay about for International Women's Day, and I wrote it about abortion. It was for an English music magazine, and I discovered that there are so many differences within Europe. Even like there is no, you can't have an abortion in Poland, for instance, but you can have one in the Netherlands, and there's so many different laws in every country that I was a bit in shock about that. And so because of that, we wrote Don't Pray For Me. Mm-hmm. It was very much inspired by having the individual the right to choose over their own life and over their own body and over their own religion, where, and for instance, like in Poland, the religious party PiS is actually decided that there's you're not allowed to have an abortion. There's no sex education in school anymore, and within Europe that's not okay. We should have more or less at least the right to have more right to choose for ourselves. And we have, of course, the war in Ukraine that inspired us over the years that we've been writing so far. So it's and their fight for freedom and to fight Russia in a way.
We are just getting to the end of the interview. We have two more questions. One of the last questions is about the tour. Okay, I saw you. You have been touring with co-headlining with Evanescence in the Worlds Collide tour. I saw you in Paris the 27th of November. In fact, I was in front of house, and all of you passed in front of me. You were preparing yourselves. Yeah, I was with Smashing Two Pieces in that date. And I would like to ask you, what can we expect of the upcoming tour? Can you just describe to the fans what are we going to find?
We don't know yet, because we still have to start creating the new show.
Okay.
But what we do know is that it's going to be like a completely new show with a new stage decorations and new effects, and it's going to be I think a very spectacular show. And especially in Spain, in Madrid, we're playing like now a big place, so we can do a bigger show. And we love big shows.
I love it too. And I love the lights of the big shows.
Yeah.
So now this is the last question. This is just I've read that you spend like a lot of time in Spain, and you know a little bit
not
of
enough.
Not enough.
And you know a little bit of Spanish. And I would like to invite you to ask you if you would like to send a message to your Spanish fans, even in Spanish or
I'll
in
leave that up
English.
to him. His Spanish is perfect.
To invite them to
our show
to come to the show. So would you like to try that in Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay,
claro.
so or even if you would like to also to try.
Vamos a intentarlo.
Muy bien.
Sí. No. Bueno, nuestra gira viene a España. Es el país más importante para la gira, claro. Y no hemos jugado desde muchos años. A festivales sí, pero no shows de nosotros. Y va a ser el show más espectacular que hemos hecho aquí. Entonces, cuando puedes, vienes y vamos a hacer una fiesta enorme.
Whatever he said. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My Spanish is not that good yet. I'm working on it, so yeah.
Would you like to add any last words for this interview?
Well, te quiero todo.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time. The
You're
interview is done. Okay, so now we are going to proceed to take a picture
Yes, of course, no
together.
problem. Yeah, great.
I will just pass the microphone to my colleague.
Yes, no problem.